Hi, and welcome to the Creative Treehouse. My name is Robin Broom, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Thanks for joining me in the treehouse today. Today's project is just a fun one, using one of the new stamp sets from the mini catalog, and it is the Cactus Cuties. That's just kind of fun. My son, when he was young, really liked cactuses, cacti, and he had one, and we still have one that I don't know how old it is. It's probably 20 years old, but anyway, so cactus are fun, and it can be found in this mini catalog. And I did not thumbnail the page. I think it was towards the front of the catalog. Let's see if I can, how long it'll take me to find it. I could just flip back and look at page 66. I was wrong. It's towards the back of the catalog. Okay, there it is. I like the fact that there is an index in the back of it. So there it is, Cactus Cuties, and it's a bundle that you can get with the punch, and I've got lots of people that really like the punches. It's just a little bit cheaper if you do a punch instead of the dies. So let's get started on this particular card. All right, I'm using the Blushing Bride as my background. Now on this one, I went ahead and I adhered it to a regular white card base, just because, I don't know, I thought if you were to give it to a gentleman, he probably wouldn't appreciate all the pink. So that was my thought on that. And then, so you will need this would be, if you're doing an A2 size card, then that would be your 5.5 by 4 1/4, and then this one is just 1/4 of an inch smaller, and then there was just a little bit of scrapped to be able to put your sentiment on. So while we're at it, let me just go ahead and do, well, actually you need your sentiment and you need to stamp your cactus as well. So now the sentiment I stamped in the basic gray color. So, and I'm going to use a Stampin' Pierce mat just to be sure. And it doesn't really matter how you stamp it because you're going to cut it out. So it doesn't even have to necessarily be completely straight or not. All right, let's see if on this particular piece I will be able to squeeze in a cactus. And I'm going to use the soft succulent. I just thought that was extremely appropriate. And I'm doing the one in the middle here, and it is the one that you're going to be able to cut out with the punch. So we are going to stamp that one in the soft succulent. And then we're going to stamp the pot that it goes in. In the pot, if you can see on the stamp set, it's kind of hard to flip it over this way. So here is the cactus, and there is the pot. And so we need that particular pot, which is the one that has the lines on it. So for that color, I used the Sahara Sand, which again I thought was just kind of appropriate. You think of cactus and you think of sand. So we're gonna, I dropped it. Let's stamp it. And I have to wash that one off because I've got ink on both ends. All right, and then while I've got this, what I did, well, I'll wait, I guess, until I punch it out. We can go ahead and cut and punch. So I'll just get my paper snips and we will work on the sentiment. And we're just gonna cut it out. And I probably might even get a little bit closer. So it's Hope Your Day, and it's kind of tight, but if you're careful and go straight across, you could also use your trimmer for this. And then we've got Is On, and we're going to cut it right there. And then Point, we're going to have it be all by itself. I'm going to just trim it so it's more even on all the sides. Same with the is on. And I love the paper snips. They're great, and they're also great for when you have to fussy cut something. They're nice and they're sharp. Speaking of sharp, we've got the cactus here, so let me dust off the ones we don't need here. Okay, and now we'll use our punch, and we'll punch out our cactus right here. And this is interesting. A lot of times the punches and dies and things leave an edge, a white edge, and I've got customers that don't really like that. And so they were thrilled that this doesn't leave the white edge. Okay, and then we'll go through and get the, let me snip this off so I can get the container, the pot in there. Now if you have a small piece like this, you can use take your pick tool and move that around. You can also use a sticky note, and that also works as well. Okay, I'll put the punch, lay the punch aside, and then I was going to show you what I did on this. Move my, I'll bring a piece of newsprint out. And I decided that they looked a little plain just the way they were. So I took my soft, succulent Stampin' Right marker. And let's see, I think I did the brush end. And I just did the brush end, and I just kind of went over just a little bit all around the edge. Just makes it stand out just a little bit. And I did the same. I don't have to do that part because that's the part that's in the pot. Okay, and then I got the Sahara Sand and the Crumb Cake Stampin' Right markers to work on this one. And on this one, I actually went in a little bit further and gave it a shadow on the side. Turn it around, and I will do the bottom of this one. And that's one of the things that I think just really sets this one apart from ones that don't do anything to the pot. Let me try the crumb cake on the, yeah, I really like the crumb cake too. Let me see if we can see if it's, yeah, it's a little bit darker, so I'm going to go through, do just a little bit more just on the edge with crumb cake, the very, very edge. Okay, and then we'll go back with the Sahara Sand and pull it out just a little bit more. Okay, and this side too. And I'm sure you could also use your blends as well. Okay, so now you've got your pot and you have the cacti that goes inside of it. All right, so we've got those extra pieces. Now let's move to the actual card. And we will, I have customers, I have ladies that don't like all the fussy cutting. So they liked the punch, but then these you'd have to fussy cut the extra ones. So in order to not do that, we went ahead and just stamped them onto the card. So for the large tall cactus, I used the pot that looked like this. Of course, you can mix and match. So, and again, I did it in Sahara Sand, and I left a little room to put our DSP strip, and we'll put that down here. And then the cactus itself, I use garden green for this one. So you have a potted garden. And the key to this one is when you use this, you need a sticky note to go right there, and you leave just a tiny, tiny edge of your pot sticking up. And let's get our tall one, and like I said, I'm going to use garden green, and I'm going to do it to where it's going to actually go over the pot. Oops, it looks like I don't have enough ink on there. That looks good. Okay, and push that one down. Okay, and then if we move this aside, you'll see that now it looks just right. It's exactly in there the way it's supposed to be. All right, now we need another pot with what I'm going to call the aloe in it. So we'll go back to our Sahara sand, and this is I chose the pot that has the little diamond pattern on it, and we're going to leave it pretty close to the other one because the other one's going to overlap, and I'm going to put it probably right about there. And again, we'll go back to our sticky note. This time I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz as my color for, let's see where my pear is. There's my Pear Pizzazz. Right, and we'll ink up the Pear Pizzazz. We will put our little sticky note with just a little bit of the edge of the pot showing. Hang on, I believe I got a little bit of ink on my block. Make sure we don't add any ink into the sky. Okay, and again, you're going to put it, it's okay for it to go across on top of that, lift it up, and there you have that one. Now, just like we did with the one that we punched out, we're going to go through and add a little bit of color to these also. So I'm just going to, on this one, I'm just going to take the Sahara Sand Stampin' Write marker, and I'm just going to make a line all the way across with the brush tip. Then with the fine tip, I think I'm going to go across the top of the pot just a little bit. Okay, and then we could even add a little bit more shading and shadow as you come across the bottom. And the same thing with the big pot. I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the sides of both the top part and the bottom part. And this one, this one. Alright, and then we're going to, like we did with the first one, we're going to pull it in a little bit. Give it that shadow that it needs. And we want to have a little bit more of a shadow on the bottom pieces, bottom of the pieces. Alright, now we can go back with our crumb cake and see if we want to make a line with that, just a really thin line, because the crumb cake is just a tiny bit darker, so that's where it needs to be a little darker. You can take the crumb cake marker and then, like I said, it just adds just a little bit more interest to your pot. And then we're going to take our garden green marker and we're going to go around our cactus. And I use just the fine tip pen to do that. This particular one, I probably did not ink up my cactus as much as I should have. But we also used them all day at a morning workshop and an evening workshop. So it's not surprising that it may be time for the re-inker on that one. Okay, I didn't do it to the other one. All right, now we're going to put our little guy together, and what I did was I used dimensionals, probably 2 on each maybe. You could use the mini ones as well. I'm going to put the pot in first, and decide I'm going to lay him a little bit closer to the big cactus, and then I'm going to put him just under just a little bit of the lip of that pot. And now I'm going to take my balmy blue Stampin' Right marker, or not Stampin' Right, this time we're going to do the blending pen, and we're going to give it a little bit of shading so that it doesn't look like they're just floating in outer space, floating in the air. And I'm going to use the light balmy blue, and we're just gonna give it a little bit of a shadow. I can make this one just a little bit bigger. Okay, so now I got some shadow under there. And now we can put our words on. Now we'll definitely need the mini dimensionals for the words, because when we've cut them and now they're really narrow. And you could probably use just 2 dimensionals on this as well. See if I've got the backings off. And we've got Hope Your Day. That's just a cute saying, I think, and it would work for, like I said, I think it would work for guys or girls. You could change up the blushing bride to a different color, I think, if you wanted. You could even do a yellow, because I think you could have your cactus could be blooming in yellow. Oh, I've got the on point, and here is the is on. That's what we're going for right now. Hope Your Day is on. I think I got it just a touch crooked. Is on point. Right, now the only things that we need to go back with our punch and punch out the little tiny flowers in that pink color. Let me go this way, I think. And like I said, you can definitely use a sticky note, and that'll help. So we've got one little bloom. See if I can get 3 out of this tiny little scrap or not. Have to be strategic. Oh, it's gonna be close. Conserving that paper. Let's see if there's a way to do this. Oh, I don't know. Looking pretty narrow right there. Looking pretty narrow. Let's see. Ooh, oh my goodness. I don't think I can do it. Let's see. Oh, it's going to be so close. We may have to shrink it just a little bit. Oh, I think it'll work. It'll work. Okay. So now we've got our blooms. And we used pretty much every piece of that little one. And we're going to put one. Like I said, you can do it however you want. But we're going to put one there. One on that one. I'm going to trade it out. And then you can also lay one sort of to the side. So, and those I just glued down with the liquid glue. So they're flat. Okay. I've got a new bottle of liquid glue, and it wants to come out quickly. So I had to share glue between those. All right, let's do this one. This is the one that was cut off just a little bit, but I don't think anybody's gonna notice. well, you know what? It landed there, and I'm just going to leave it there. All right, now we need to use our liquid glue again on our colored strip of DSP. And the DSP is cut at 5/8 and 3 7/8 because the card here is 3 7/8 on the white part. So we will put the liquid glue on it. And then we will adhere the whole thing to our Blushing Bride base. And then we could adhere this whole thing to our white card base. Or you could even make it a different color. So there is the project for the day. And here's the other one so you can kind of compare and see. And it was just quick and easy, and that way you're utilizing the punch and you're not having to fussy cut these. But I love the way it turned out, and I hope that if you don't have this particular fun set, that you might want to grab it while you can, because that catalog only goes through June. So, and next week we'll find out which of the products will be retired, and I don't know if this one will be or not, but we'll find out. So, hope you have enjoyed this fairly quick card, and just a really cute card. I really like it. So I hope to see you next time in the treehouse. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider doing so. I'm getting closer and closer to my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and maybe you will be one of those that helps me get there. So I hope so. And if you've already subscribed, thanks so much. And I look forward to the next time with you in the treehouse. Bye-bye.